Welcome to Real Estate of Mind. I'm Andy Gutman, and I have the good fortune this morning of sitting with Giulia Alexandru of Northshore Sleep Medicine out in Northbrook, Illinois. Good morning, Giulia.
Good morning.
Well, Giulia, welcome to the show, and welcome to Northbrook Court Professional Plaza. I know you've only been here since January, so fairly new to the complex. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about Northshore Sleep Medicine?
Absolutely. So Northshore Sleep Medicine's been around for 11 years. The first 10 and a half years we were in Evanston, Illinois. So yep, we are new to the area, 10 miles north of where we started. What makes us different from other sleep centers is that we're not just a sleep center, we're what's called a hybrid clinic. So we have clinic throughout the daytime. We have 2 physicians who see patients for consults, follow-ups. We have technicians on staff who help with patients in between doctor's appointments. Of course, we have the sleep center here. We have 4 bedrooms. And then we are also a durable medical equipment company. So we are what we like to call a one-stop shop. So once a patient finds us or gets referred to us, we really take over all of the care. We don't refer patients back out, come and go, and that's really where patients fall through the cracks, is where you send them here and then they forget to schedule, and so they never make it to point B. And so not with us. We do it all here. We're super hands-on, and because of that, our internal compliance is more like 80-90%, whereas the national compliance average is about 50%. So we're proud of how we do things. We do them well, and that's what we do.
That's fantastic. And, you know, it's interesting that you mentioned that one-stop shop, because that's something that Fartman Group actually prides itself on as well in the real estate industry. So it's great when you hear that in other industries, because that is important.
Absolutely.
If your clients only have to go to one place for everything they need, they're more likely, and especially in your industry, they're more likely to follow through with those things that they need to stay healthy, right?
That's what it is, absolutely.
What a fantastic thing. You have to be pretty proud of that.
We are.
All right, Giulia, we've heard about Northshore and what a great place it is. Can you tell our listeners how you got to this point in Northshore? It sounds like it's been a great progression in your career.
Yeah, so I've been in sleep medicine for a little over 13 years. Started out at the University of Chicago in Hyde Park, and that's where I met people and made connections, and Dr. Lisa Shives was who founded Northshore Sleep Medicine 11 years ago, so it was just a name I've known for a long time, and then she went off and started her own private practice and just remembered me, and so I left U of C and made my way over to Evanston. And from there, I pretty much worked every role there is to be worked in a sleep clinic. I started as an overnight sleep technician, quickly moved my way up to chief technician after I became registered and passed my boards. Trained nearly everybody who ever worked with us, and then slowly just progressed to daytime chief technician, from there office manager, and then we brought our billing in-house, so I still to this day oversee our billing. And then just moved more into the role of a practice manager. I oversee the daytime, the nighttime, and every aspect of our business. I know it all like the back of my hand. And so the nice thing is, after all these years, is that I know all the staff. I know everyone who's come and gone. And there are a couple of people still with us who've been with us from the beginning. And really, that's one of the things patients like the most is, you know, that continuity, that
Consistency.
Consistency, that's what I was looking for. You know, there's so much turnover everywhere nowadays, and especially in medicine, and so patients who I've run studies on 11 years ago still are our patients, and so it's so nice when they walk in and they know me by name and I know them by name, and they're always like, hey, you were at my sleep study, and I'm like, I did. And, you know, it's just so nice because, you know, the patient, and they know you, they know I have a daughter, they know my story, and I know theirs, and that goes to, you know, the same for a few other employees we have. And so actually, you know, despite a lot of change and transition, us moving to Northbrook was a big transition for a lot of people because most people don't like change.
Right.
Part of what kept people happy and just grounded still was the fact that they knew, okay, Giulia moved with the practice, Lorraine moved with the practice, and so that actually helps a lot of people.
Yeah, without a doubt. I know, you know, going to the doctor's office for anything, knowing the people, knowing that they're caring, and they've entrusted themselves to you for so many years. That makes a difference.
Absolutely, and we hear it all the time, because again, the relationship you build is with the doctor, and when our doctor left us after so many years, so many of our patients were crushed, and like, what do I do now? Where do I go? And so until they got to know the new doctors, and felt comfortable building a relationship, it was the staff again who, we had patients say, well, I see the doctor for maybe 15 minutes, but throughout the year in between appointments, it's the staff who picks up the phone who I know, it's the people who check me in, it's the technicians who work with me. And so we've helped make that transition a lot easier for patients.
That's fantastic. Giulia, I'd like to dive a little bit into the specifics about what sleep medicine is and what people would come to you for, what types of things that you do here.
So when I tell people what I do, the first thing that comes to people's minds is, I can't sleep, so you guys do insomnia. So yes, definitely insomnia is something that we treat. However, insomnia is more like 30% of our patient population. It's prevalent, it's common, but sometimes it's a symptom of something deeper, something more underlying. And more recently, due to social media and, just much more awareness, everyone's becoming much more aware of sleep apnea. Right. And everyone kind of knows, that's the thing where you put the mask on your face, that PAP, right. Everyone calls it anything but CPAP. And so really that's where the majority of our patient population lies, is with the sleep apnea. And that's because it is extremely common. It's not just heavier set men that have it. That's another myth, a lot of misperception. You can be a very thin young female. Kids have it. A lot of kids sadly are getting diagnosed with ADD and other conditions as opposed to getting evaluated for a sleep disorder. And so it's very, very common. It does have a little bit to do with weight, and obesity, but definitely there's a lot of it that has to do with anatomy of the throat, enlarged tonsils or adenoids. Sleep apnea can happen for many reasons. And so many people have it. And so really because we're a specialist office, by the time people make their way into our office, there's something there. So it's not like we're over-diagnosing. Is that by the time you've made your way here, whoever sent you knew you have a symptom of some kind of a sleep disorder. But sleep apnea definitely is the most common. Insomnia comes in after that. But really we diagnose and treat any sleep disorder. So sleepwalking, the parasomnias, restless legs is also very common, so we help with that. Narcolepsy, we actually have a very fair amount of patients. For a small clinic, we do see a lot of narcoleptic patients, and again, that's because we know how to ask the right questions, look for the right things, and sadly, so many people get overlooked in other places. Your doctor's office, your primary care, your family medicine doctor, they're just too busy, they have so many patients, they're overwhelmed, everyone comes in with a cough, everything, they don't have the time to say, how are you sleeping? Do you feel rested? And so a lot of patients who have real disorders go unnoticed, undiagnosed. And so by the time patients make it to us, really they've had this problem for, I've heard patients tell me 30 years, 20 years, couples who haven't slept in the same room for 2 decades just because of something or another. And so we really are trained to seek the right symptoms, ask the right questions, get a full history from the patient. And so, again, we pride ourselves in the job we do. We think we do a good job. And just like with the one-stop shop, we really are a mom-and-pop kind of place. We have just this one location. We didn't grow beyond our means. We try to do everything such that we can still have good grasp on it, good control over it, and also that makes all the difference. So yeah, if you can't sleep, if there's anything wrong, come on over. We're positive we can help. We're certain of it.
That's fantastic. And Giulia, while we're talking about it, how will the people that listen to this podcast get a hold of the great people here at Northshore?
Even that's a little tricky right now. The best absolute way to get a hold of us is through our website. Our website has super awesome resources. We work on our website regularly. It's always updated with the newest resources, newest materials, news bits about what's up and coming or new in the sleep medicine world, but really it has the best contact information for our practice. And so I've noticed that for some odd reason, there's weird numbers listed online for us that are not our numbers and never have been. But if you go to our website, all the correct information's on there. Emails for all of us, myself included. People love to email. I do respond to those throughout the day, all day long. Contact information with extension for every phone number in the building, so if you're looking for someone specific. But our website really is the best resource. And there's a map with directions on there, because a lot of people tend to get lost and confuse us around here, but I really think that our website is the best resource.
Okay, and for people listening, we'll put it on the page as well. What is your website address?
www.ns, short for North Shore, so nssleep.com.
Wow, that's nice and easy.
I think so.
Well, Giulia, I really appreciate you taking the time this morning to talk to me, to talk to our listeners about what you do here. And on behalf of the Farbman Group, I'm Andy Gutman. I'm here today with Giulia Alexandru of Northshore Sleep Medicine, and we thank you for listening to Real Estate of Mind Tenant Talk. Have a great day, everyone. Join us next time for another wonderful edition of Real Estate of Mind, a Farbman Group podcast.